My name's Charles Baudet, offering super dry basements. Today, I'm at the basement of Diane Hance, and Diane bought a house that was waterproofed by another waterproofing contractor and was told that it was guaranteed dry. However, Ms. Hance, unfortunately, has had to mop up water several times since, and her finished room and all of her stored goods have become saturated on numerous occasions. So we're here today to figure out why. Notice a small area of the floor can be seen to have been broken out and re-poured. I suspect that the contractor that did the job failed to drill the weep holes into the right portions of the block. So today what we're going to do is break open the floor in a couple of areas and see exactly what it was that they did wrong. To do this, I've enlisted the aid of my trusty Bosch rotary hammer. Well, folks, I can't believe this. This has got to be one of the worst interior basement waterproofing systems I've ever seen. Not the worst. It's right up there. What this contractor did is he broke open the floor. He dug a trench, not down to the base of the footer, to the top of the footer. And then he laid an extremely tiny pipe in that trench. Behind the pipe, you'll notice two holes that he drilled in the blocks. That was in order to let the water out of the blocks. The problem is, folks, he then poured the trench and the weep holes full of concrete, which acted as a dam, stopping all of that water and trapping it in the walls, which has resulted in mold and water in her finished area of the basement. This has got to be one of the worst systems I've ever seen. Here we're still in the same basement with the butchered waterproofing job, and you can see not only do we have efflorescence built up all over the wall. Efflorescence, again, are the minerals that are carried through and deposited as a form of crystalline growth on the walls as water and the acids that are in water help to break down the concrete block. But underneath that, you'll notice that we also have several small colonies of mold beginning. These walls were recently painted by the homeowner with Kills paint in an attempt to curtail the mold growth. Unfortunately, Kills has no chemicals in it which actually kill anything but stains. Here you can see not only is the pipe installed on top of the footer, but there are two weep holes in these blocks. Folks, these blocks were built between 1930 and 1970. That means they actually have three distinct pockets in them. And there's also a pocket where the two blocks come together. So for this block to have been weeped properly, there needed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weep holes in order to completely drain the wall in this section. And as you can see, they have 1, 2. Now I can get my finger in one. They actually hit one of the cores. But here, as you can see, my finger won't go in. And that's because they're not even in the core. So this block actually has only one pocket that's draining, but it's not draining into anything because they had the concrete filling the weep holes completely. This is just awful. It's one of the worst jobs I've ever seen. You see that they've left the walls completely devoid of any vapor barrier or any paneling system. With an inside system, folks, not only do we have to be draining the wall completely using proper weep holes, but we also have to leave a vapor barrier on the wall and a vapor barrier over that. This double vapor barrier system ensures that any moisture that travels through capillary action through the cores, or through the webbing rather than the cores, will condense behind the vapor barriers, drain down under the floor into the system when it's properly installed, and be drained away. The lack of this system has created the humidity that has caused the mold in the other areas of this basement, which we'll see later. Here we are today again in Diane Hans's basement. Again, this basement was waterproofed previously, and after it was waterproofed, they went ahead and remodeled the entire room. You can see everything's been pulled away from the walls and is sitting up, and that's because this has continued to flood long after the basement waterproofing job. Here you'll actually notice the paneling is warping distinctly, and it continues all the way down the walls, warping. We've already seen water and mold on the other portions of the basement. Chances are there's mold growing on the back side of this paneling too. We'll soon find out. This is a dry ease wet check moisture meter. Just as I suspected, the walls are completely saturated